Hi and welcome back. So in the past couple of videos we've been doing examples of music in 4/4 time that we've just kind of been I've just kind of been making them up, and I've only been doing them with just a rhythmic staff, so I've just kind of been writing them. Let me see how this pen tool works. There we go. So I've just kind of been writing them down, making up the rhythm like that, and I've just kind of been writing them without any staff. We've just been dealing with rhythm. So I thought it would be a good idea to start working with, let me just start erasing this, to start working with examples that, examples from real music. So I've got a bunch of PDF real books on my computer, so I just kind of went searching through those to find kind of an appropriate example, and I came up with this out of a real book I've got called the Colorado Cookbook. So first off, I guess we can kind of talk about how, oh wow, you can even still see, there's a bunch of, I guess you can still kind of see, I'm just realizing you might be able to still see where I erased that there, but hopefully we can just kind of ignore that for right now. But anyway, this is out of a book I've got called the Colorado Cookbook, and as you'll notice, there's a lot of things going on in this that make it look, that make it look challenging, I guess, to make it look like something we haven't seen before. So, we've got 5 lines here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got these 5 lines. We've got a clef, we've got a key signature, we've got all this information up here, so we've got all of that. But kind of what I want to show you, and another thing we don't have, and this is because I kind of took this actually from the end of a piece, one of the things we don't have is a time signature. We don't have a time signature. But one of the things we can kind of tell is that, well, how many quarter notes go into each measure here? Well, there are 4 quarter notes. So this, I'll tell you that this particular example, it is in 4/4. But, this could also be, we could say it's 2/2 time because, you can also fit 2 half notes into that same amount of time. But anyway, this is... Actually, you know what? That might be a good example or a good exercise to do. Try to think about right now. I know we haven't covered this too much, and I'll go into this much more in depth in future videos. But just looking at this example, so we've got a bar line there, a bar line there, and a bar line there. So we fit 4 quarter notes into each bar line, or we can fit 2 half notes into each bar, or we can fit 1 whole note. Now I want you to think about this and try to just come up with an answer. What are all the different time signatures that could work in this example, that would make sense? Well, 4/4 would work, let's say. So 4/4 would definitely work, and I'll tell you that this particular example, the piece is in 4/4 or common time. What's another time signature that could work? Because we just have to, we just have to be able to fit 4 quarter notes into a measure or 2 half notes. Well, couldn't 2/2 time work as well? 2/2. Because we can fit 2 half notes in, and that's what this means. So we're going to, if we wanted to, hopefully you can actually see that. I'm going to switch to red. You might be able to see red a bit better. So keep in mind what we said about this bottom number for a time signature. We're just going to take that bottom number, put 1 over it, so that means a half note, and we're going to have 2 of them in a measure. So doesn't this measure fulfill that, that clause? It says we're going to have 2 half notes in a measure. So 2/2 time could work as well. And what is one other time signature that could work for this example. So we've got 4/4, so that means we've got 4 quarter notes. We've got 2/2, which means we could have 2 half notes. And there's one other one. And I'll give you a hint. It has to do with this last measure right here. Well, couldn't 1/1 work as well? 1/1. You know, and you'll never see this time signature. This is, you know, you'll hardly ever see this time signature. I've been playing for a while. I don't think I've ever seen a time signature like that. But it's a real time signature. You maybe could see this, and it works for this example. You could say that this is in 1/1 time. So anyway, that's a little bit of an aside, a little bit of an introduction. Let me see how well this eraser doesn't really work too well, but at least it'll free up some space for us. Here we go. Okay. Erase. See how much of this we can get rid of. There we go. Okay. 2/2. Get rid of as much of that as possible, and maybe some of this smudge left over from where I had erased earlier. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so now what we're going to do, and I think blue might work really well. Yeah, blue will work great. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to just reduce this. We're going to try to eliminate information from this so that it looks like the examples we've been doing earlier. So we're just going to try to get it down to the rhythm. So I'm telling you right now, this doesn't explicitly say it, but I'm telling you that this example is in 4/4 time. So now, what do we have to do? Well, we just have to grab the rhythm out of this. We just ignore this clef and ignore the key signature we've got, and all of these chord changes up here. So even though these kind of look a little bit, maybe look right now a little bit frightening to you, and we'll go over all of what this means in later playlists, but all we're going to do is just grab this rhythm. So in our first measure, what do we have? Well, we've got 4 quarter notes, right? So let's just write those down. Put a bar line. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes. There we go. And in the second measure, what do we have? Well, same thing, right? We've just got 4 quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And third measure, 2 half notes, right? So we're just going to write down our 1, 2. There we go. And the last measure of the piece is just a whole note. So just write down our whole note like that. And then that's the end of this example. So now I'm running out of time a little bit, so I don't want to start writing in the beat examples. But I do kind of want to just show you that, you know, if you were playing this piece and you were having trouble figuring out what the rhythm was of this up here, you know, you can just, it would take a little bit of time, but you can just sort of reduce it down to the rhythm, and that'll sort of help you figure out a bit more what the piece should sound like. I will tell you, you know, as far as reading music goes, as far as understanding how to read music, I know I've said this before, but as far as understanding how to read music, figuring out what all this other stuff means, the key signature, where notes on the staff go, and all of that, that is all easy compared to getting the intuition behind how to figure out the rhythm, behind getting, you know, trying to figure out what the rhythm of a piece is. So this is a good exercise to do with an actual piece of music to sort of figure out what the rhythm is of an actual piece. So anyway, in the next video, we'll continue with this example and number our beats and our down beats and all our holds and everything. So anyway, hope you like this, and I'll see you in the next video.